Right, we're back with another chat show, me and Dean. Suppose this week we're going to start with what we said we'd do last week, the facts on a race course. And Dean, I believe we're doing Navan this week, are we?
Yeah.
So, pretty much Navan, postcode, flat, and national hunt jumps races each year.
Yeah, probably one of the best viewing tracks in Ireland. You can actually, there's no obstructed view, from the grandstand. You can see the whole course, which is absolutely fantastic. It's a track that I would advise anybody to visit. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's in County Meath, obviously, which is about 20-minute, 30-minute drive from Dublin. It's a left-handed track. It's about a mile and a half long or round, and there is a 6 furlong straight sprint on Navan, obviously. And you have the likes of Apple's Jade, Jet Ski, Tiger Road, Easy Game, all them kind of running at it pretty much every year. The local track, the Gordon Elliott and Old Meath, isn't it? That's why most of theirs go there quite consistently.
Yeah, I think you forgot a very special horse on there as well. Arkle actually won a maiden around Navan in when was it now? Where have it wrote down here? 1962.
1962. Is that
Yes.
long for my 19?
Oh, it was well before mine as well, but it was just a wee bit of history.
Yeah,
definitely. For the likes of the horses that do go there, you mentioned like Apple's Jade and all that. Funny, I attend the Troytown meeting there every year without fail. And then recently we started running a bus to it from the local bar. A fantastic day out. Most people would think, geez, Navan in the middle of winter, cold, wet, end of November, wouldn't be an ideal day out. But for the racing that's in store there, some real stars have graced Navan before. The likes of Vautour won the beginner's chase, Navan won it, Mann won it, Album Photo won it, and he's gone on to won the Cheltenham Gold Cup twice. Won last year. Wally Mullins won the same race last year with Cashback. So you see some real stars from the big stables, and then you have the big Troytown, the big handicap. On the day, that always attracts a good sized field, and there does be some quality. The last couple of years hasn't really provided much in terms of Cheltenham winners, but if you go back to 2016, 17 and 18, I think, Martello Tower fell at the third last and came out and won at Cheltenham, and the Friday, where are we at now? The Albert Bartlett in 2015. Then you had Empire of Dirt, who fell again 3 from home, and he was absolutely cruising in the race. He came out then and won at Cheltenham at 20-1. He actually came back the year after and won the Troytown. He was 4-1 favourite the year he fell. It was my bet of the day. When we were down, I was telling everybody about it on the way down the bus. It was like, right, boys, I just think this thing's a good thing, won't be beat. Of course, comes cruising at the third last. Unfortunately, he fell. But back the year later, it was 14-1. And that was my bet of the day as well. And he won at 12s, but we got him at 14s. And by Christ, there was some rower coming past the winning line because of the year before. So there's some real big stars that has graced Navan before, and that Troytown meeting, the winners they've threw up. I've seen Sam Crow at that meeting, Easy Game. Then you go on to the bumper. There's horses like Augusta Kate has won the bumper on that day, and Big Bad and Beautiful has won it. There's it really is it's a good track if you have a horse that you're going to send to the Cheltenham Festival, because you will get you will get a good feel of how it'll handle that big uphill finish. And now Navan has a big uphill finish.
Yeah, and then you have, obviously, I think it was last year or the year before, Tiger Roll ran in the blind hurdle. I think it went up
Tiger,
25-1, and then
yeah,
went on and won the cross country and the Grand National, the Inter Grand National.
yeah, it's
So
mad,
like
isn't it?
it's notorious for producing winners at Cheltenham and obviously entry too if they go over there. But
Yeah,
you never know what you're going to see at Navan. What kind
that's
of
it. Whether it's a summer's evening barbecue for the
hmm
flat, or a winter morning for the national home card, like as you say, you really never know what you're going to see rocking up. Like as I just mentioned, there's been some stars there in the past, like you know,
there really has like
won that beginner's chase I think for the last 4 or 5 years, but he always targets it for one of his best horses, you know.
mhm.
So for cashback, they're running it this year, and one of it tells me that he must think a lot about the horse, you know.
And yeah, just going back on Navan now. If you're going in the winter, definitely bring your winter clothes. Anyway,
Yeah.
it is one of
Navan's
the
actually
coldest tracks I've been to.
Navan actually celebrating their 100th birthday next year,
Oh,
so
really?
no doubt that there will be something big on. And
Mm.
after everything that we've all went through this year with the lockdown and missing months and months of not being able to attend the tracks and that, I think next year I would advise anybody that can or possibly want to visit Navan, whether it be in the summertime or whether it be in the winter time for Dave the Fintria chase there as well, 2 weeks before Navan, where as you say, some of the big stars like Apple's Jade and all normally turned out, or you have the Troy Town weekend at the end of November, perfect time for Christmas shopping. The nearest
Yeah,
airport to it is
in
Dublin,
Dublin. Yeah,
so it is. So anybody that's looking to come in from England or anywhere else, Dublin would be the airport, and then as you say, like it's just motorway from there up. You've got
yeah.
lots,
Navan is on the Dublin airport side of Dublin, so
yeah, and you've got
it's
lots of good
literally straight
hotels.
motorway.
You've lots of good hotels there as well and things like so. Uh, if anybody hasn't been, I always see on Twitter people's bucket lists of wanting to visit Killarney and all that there. Killarney is an absolute fantastic track. I was there last year myself. Loved the week that we spent there. We were there for the festival that will be this time or that's starting tomorrow. Absolutely fantastic time. But Navan is up there. Like Navan is up there with the best tracks in Ireland.
Mm.
It's definitely a must visit for anybody. I can guarantee you'll love it.
Oh, 100%. That's definitely a must visit. I've been there numerous times. It's one of my local tracks, and I couldn't recommend it anymore. Like,
Yeah, it's the same as that. Like even when we go there, as I say, with the bus run, like you can guarantee there's at least 15 to 20 other coach loads there. People, because of the quality of racing, the car park is always full.
yeah,
You know, we set off and we make sure we're there an hour before the first race because there's a few of the older gentlemen comes along with. It's like, but you want to get them a table. People like
yeah,
me and other people don't really mind. Like we run about and out to the parade ring and the betting ring and try and sourcing out tip out of somewhere or chat to somebody or stand at the bar and have a pint. It's absolutely fantastic.
yeah. No, it really is. And I suppose we'll move on from Navan now and go straight into the horses to follow for next week, team. Have you got any nice ones?
Well, after the last couple of weeks have been kind of poor for me. I haven't looked into it in too much detail. Um, I see the likes of Dandala has big entries there at Deauville this weekend and next weekend, I think. So if wherever she goes, obviously she's one to follow because she is phenomenal. um, and then there's actually the John Gosden one running tomorrow. Darien, the half brother to Laddie Da, is it?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I I think he's got a great chance. He's in against Mogul. To be fair, like I don't really, I wouldn't have Mogul in high regard of Ballydoyle horses, if I'm honest. Um, if I was going to have a bet this week, it would probably be the unbeaten Darien.
Yeah, well, I've got a few myself here this week. You mentioned Dandala there. Nick has Fev Rover going in the 340 at Sandown to Solario on Sunday, and to me that's a dead cert. Um,
I
she's
think,
just as good as Dandala. I think she's the second top rated 2-year-old
yeah, I
behind
think
Dandala.
she's got a couple of entries in Deauville as well, doesn't she?
Does she?
Yeah, I think so. I think they have a couple of options there. I was just reading Nick's newsletter this morning. Yeah, they have a
Yeah.
couple of options.
Well, if she does go to the Solario, she's dead cert in my eyes. Nick has Forever Grateful running in it too, but I think Fev Rover is just a better horse. In
Forever
truth.
Grateful won well the other day, didn't it?
Mm,
From the front. Pontefract, good price, 12-1 as well.
yeah.
Again,
Mm,
another winner for the
Nick's
next rally racing.
Nick's just on ridiculous form too. Probably the form of his life with his horses.
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
Um,
and it's good to see.
yeah, no, it really is, and it's definitely a syndicate worth joining anyway. It's
Oh, for
quite
sure.
affordable as well. Like it's a really affordable syndicate, and you just get results back from it. And Nick's a top bloke.
He's a top fella to deal with. There's never anything too much bother for him. Like, it'd always be on the end of a message or an email. He is, as you said, like he's a top guy.
Yeah, moving on to my second pick. Walking on glass tomorrow. In Galway's riding it for Patrick Roach. I'd say it should run a good race. 425 Sligo. Look, I can see Aiden picking up an awful lot of good rides now after his just incredible ride in Alice Johnson. I'd say he has another chance of picking up winner here. There is some good horses in it, like Noble Joshua and In Your Shadow, but no Mead Yard. But I can see this running a very respectable race, and look, it's worth a good shot. Like
He's a horse in form.
yeah. And then last week, all I'm saying is just love to give VCS right our horses for this weekend. I'd say it's three that'll go extremely well. Shouldering, obviously, I tipped it last week and it didn't go, but it's going again this week. Well, it's entered again this week. Edmund Dante's stunning horse, nice grey horse, has ran quite well this year. I think it's picked up one or two. And Luigi Vampa, it's one that David rates very highly. And look, I'd say he could have another win or two with the rest of his horses going this weekend, but he's definitely a man to watch out for this weekend.
Yeah, as you said, like he's been on good form there as well. He had that treble at Sandown a couple of weeks ago. Then he's
Yeah,
had the Group 3 winner in France there at the weekend. A big
nice.
price as well, as you say. He's a man to follow for a yard in form at the moment. And I just seen there, he's a small yard. He never has any more than 35 horses in, I think. And, to be turning out the winners that he's turning out, it is credit to him, like, and
Yeah, it
all his
really
team,
is.
actually.
And just he has such great style up there, and he's so down to earth. Like
Yeah.
he wouldn't shove you over because of who you are or whatever. Like
Yeah. He is, like, that time we done the podcast with him, he has a fantastic racing. He's got some fantastic knowledge because he's been all over the world,
Yeah. That wrapped up another week of Chacho.
Sure does.
And next week, what course are we going for?
Before we go, it's just funny. You didn't see the interview Shimmy Heffernan gave at Goran Park on Tuesday?
Did, yeah. I did.
He spoke very, very well. And I think it's, as we've discussed it a few times on here, what Stuart, can do better or whatever. I've watched that race, and yes, there is slight contact, but I just don't like. I don't think it's that serious. If you watch the race at
Yeah,
Tipperary yesterday, it's 3 o'clock, where the horse is given a 25 length lead again, and on soft ground, had raining, you know, and then nothing happens there. But Shamie Heffernan forces a way out and gets a 4 day ban. As he says that day, if he sits and does nothing, he gets banned for not trying, and
yeah,
he probably gets so much abuse online
yeah,
for fixing this and all this, and the usual that pops up.
yeah. The usual that comes
And
up.
then if he tries to win the race for the trainer and the owner,
He gets
and
banned.
and he gets a 4 day ban, like he's probably very hard done by.
He is. He definitely is. Especially after coming back from a ban. Like,
After coming back from 2 weeks quarantine and 22 days of a suspension for his ride in France on Peaceful. Like I don't know. I think he's hard done by, and there's other areas of Irish racing that the stewards and the regulatory board can be cracking down on, rather than a man trying to win a race for a trainer and an owner. At the end of the day, them people there are paying the bills all during lockdown,
yeah,
and if that horse is in good form and could have won the race, but has to sit tight and gets boxed in,
yeah,
and he doesn't get a run, and then they go to enter him again, and he might get
yeah.
balloted out. So whenever he's in good form, that might be gone. So I think it might be a controversial decision, but I think Shamie done the right thing in trying to get the gap and get out.
Yeah, I think so. And it wasn't like it was mad contact. Like it wasn't really dangerous, to be honest.
I've seen a hell of a lot worse
Yeah,
recently.
100%.
Recently, seen a hell of a lot worse
Yeah,
for nothing to happen. I just think it's harsh. So that was just a wee end point. If anybody's seen that race, drop a comment, or come on and chat about it next week or something. It really is like, this is what we're here for. We're here for a bit of racing talk and a bit of crack, and highlighting things that we think can improve on.
and yeah, just before we go, Dean, what track are we going for next week?
What track are we going for next week? Well, seems as it's on this week and it's one of their festivals this week, and a lot of people on Twitter have it as on their bucket list. I think we should go for Killarney.
Killarney it is.
We'll get a good insight this week. And anybody watching the video now, tune in to Killarney on Racing TV this week and have a look at it. It is an app. The scenery around the track is unbelievable. If last year when we were there, if you were to walk down the main street at night, you would swear you were in the middle of Spain or France. The cafes and bars are all open. There's live music. It's an absolute, the buzz about the place whenever there's a festival on in the middle of summer is fantastic. So I think we'll cover that next week. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea.
Good.